Semi-vacation day number 2, before Nicole rose through. I'm going to have to warn you right now. If I'm not going to find a parking space on a Thursday out here, where I'm trying to get to for the first time in probably 4.5, 5 years, you just can't do it on the weekend. You probably already know where we're headed. We go through this every time over here. But I'm going to warn you. If I pull in that parking lot and there's not one space available, Lord knows what I'm going to do. I can't stand wasting time. And you do waste a lot of time when you're driving. Keep your fingers crossed. No excuses. No excuses. I think I see at least one parking space. And we're about to grab it. Don't drive into the river. We are in luck today. Gonna be covering a lot of miles out here. Dang. Beautiful. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9.8. First triangle of the day. Check it out. Welcome back to Cochran Shaw's. This place out here goes by many names. It does. It practically changes names every mile. The trails cover all the way through to Soap Creek, up there by Paper Mill. 3 miles up that way. You think we can make it? We have until 4:45 when the sun sets. It's going to be cloudy all day. Sun's out just a little bit right now before Nicole starts to roll through this place, giving us some much needed rain. And then you know what's going to happen on Saturday and Sunday? We're going to go out and try to fill the pockets with some major history. First time in a while since we've done that thing. Let's hope they treat us right with that. Try to end the year on a high note. And I do mean a high note. As we sing. Because we find major history. Major things out there that are covered up by the leaves. Because they will be cleaning it up. Let's hope they don't clean it out. Beautiful. It's usually fairly packed on the main drag through here, especially during the spring and summer. The only time I came out here was back in like 2017 during a weekday, and it was jam-packed. I don't know if I'm going to be getting up in the woods or not. Plenty of time to do so. Time to get started. Check this thing out. Whoever did that art piece right there did that thing right. Another masterpiece out here. Look at that thing. You can barely notice it in the spring and summer because of the makeup is going to be on. Humongous. Beautiful outcropping right here. Usually always find places like this along the Chattahoochee, especially in North Metro. I don't know what it's like in, the south side of things. That's way up there too. That's about 25 feet right there at that point. You're going to tell me to go up in this thing just like everybody else. I do intend to explore today. This is just the beginning of it. Very nice indeed. Wonder if I'm going to have to unplug the headsets today, see if I get EVPs or not. There's something about the Chattahoochee. They like to talk it up out here. They do. The entities do. Some of the most interesting EVPs I've gotten have been around the Chattahoochee for some reason. One of the most recent that I've heard was just 2 weeks ago from a video that I shot back in like 2019 up there by Jonesbridge Park. I was talking about the little outline, the dip in the bank facing the river. And I was talking about how it reminds me so much of the First Lady, Dodsworth. On how that outlines the bottom of the face, the chin, part of the puzzle. And the entities out there, they sounded like kids. They said, "Hey guys, he knows it." What is it about the Chattahoochee that I get EVPs like that though? Just like up there by Abbott's Bridge when I was on my kayak that one day. Out there chilling. You're talking about EVPs of a lifetime. Seems like Vasari made an appearance in the video. You talk about crapping my draws. Man, what is it about me and the Chattahoochee though? I gotta figure it out later. We got things to look at today and walk through. At least the human history still continues out here till this day. And I'm part of it. Maybe this is a question asked later, but what is it about the triangle formations in some of the places we go into? Hello, tree of life, pine tree, gargantuan. Another good one for the stash. Dang, look at the size of that waistline. Man, gotta be at least 135. I know, I'm a big fan of like the summer and springtime. I am. But there's different examples of beauty that you see now that you can't see in the summertime. I mean, look at this thing right here. This thing would be covered up with the makeup during that time. I mean, you can crop some images for real though. You could if you just got it zoomed in correctly, or if you were sitting in a specific spot. They just said yes. Hey, look, we got ducks and geese swimming against the current, Da Vinci style. Man, waters are shallow today. They're going to be going, real deep within the next 12 hours. They're going to be cleaning this place out later on. You're going to tell me to do it before and after? No, we're going to be doing it before and after in the studio as we look at some major history on the desk. Let's plan to do that instead. This place is about to get buck wild out here. Got to get ready for that thing. Man. No creek walking shoes today. I tell you one thing though, that's a beautiful scene right there. Look at that. The building creeping up over the tops of the trees right there. Look at that. The perfect combination, the perfect blend. I told you about that before. You build towards the sky and let everything else survive around it. Georgia outdoors. I'm surprised I'm not seeing a bunch of white boxes just sitting still, Looks like an old school phonograph or something. Like the sheet music. It's exactly what it looks like it's playing. One line at a time. At least they're moving, right? That's for dang sure. Check it out. Here go the wetlands over here. And a giant tree of life to greet us. Just a willow oak about 42 years old. Those things grow fast. That could be the water oak that we're looking for today. Oops. Cute. Yeah, I guess we're not exploring on this land over here. Got those $1 million houses and stuff. $1 million houses. This is 2022, not 2019. Those $6 million houses up on the hill. Ranch style, built back in like the 70s, 80s. Some are bigger than others. Check out that human scene right there. Imagine if the sun was coming through, and the leaves were still yellow and golden. 98% of the color's gone though, it is. The makeup's almost completely wiped off. It's definitely going to be wiped off after, tomorrow, good old Friday. If it's going to be raining cats and dogs tomorrow, you know what that means. I might have to go treasure hunting all day tomorrow. Might have to hit up the Goodwills, our hotspots, Try to invest in other people's art. I guess I'll consider that. That's what I'm always looking for every time I go to those Goodwills, is to invest in other people's weird art. Use it for motivation for my own, I guess. Try to see what other people have to offer. Greatest place to find abstract and crazy looking art, even, elegant art, is at Goodwill. You just got to find the right piece. You just got to go out and look for it. Different kind of treasure when it comes to that thing. So if it's going to be raining hardcore tomorrow on a Friday, that might be something we're going to have to do that I would enjoy doing. Not to mention that, being on a Friday with the heavy rains, that means not a lot of people are going to be out looking for treasure like we are, which means we might hit it right. We're going to have to pay it forward though. We are trying to get to point A to point B to point C to point D, blah, blah, blah. All day long. It's going to take us forever to get from one point to the other because of the traffic. It is. Heavy rains on a Friday in Metro. And we're going to be driving in that thing. Let's hope they pay it back. Let's hope they pay us with some major fines tomorrow. Another giant tree of life right here next to the trail. Always like a beacon. Tell you that every time out here. Right next to the extension trail right here that takes you down to the waterway. Seems like every extension so far has been next to us. Some kind of tree of life. Large ones. I think my first time out here, I know I'm slipping on acorns. I always do it hands free. Man. My cord is in the way. My bad. I think the first time I was out here was with my uncle way back in like 92, 93, when we first moved to ATL, about a year afterwards. And look at the heaven over there they got. These houses that line the river up in here, that come right off of Riverside Drive, where they're long, half-mile long driveways up and down the hills. Quite modern. Very cool indeed. Not really my desire to live in houses like that, unless it's a glass box in the middle of the woods, in the middle of some field. I'll take that any day as a vacation house. But there's nothing like living up in the sky. Nothing like living in some, penthouse at the top. I can see myself doing that thing in Miami when I'm 198 years old, you know, with my helipad on top. With an X marks the spot. That Metatron cube is going to be the X, the helipad. It's going to be the Metatron cube. One of a kind landing spot for the good old flying machine. Thank the Lord for that. Something about the river, though. Certain parts of it. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. You might have found out in a few of my videos the way I outline things, you know. I told you about it before. Things were different back in the late 1400s, early 1500s. But things were mapped out way before that, if you know what I mean. A lot of people out there had a good gift at mapping things, you know, cartography and stuff. A lot of select people out there made their way to different lands across the world, trying to find new ways of life to help life continue, help things move along. Carrying many things with them, you know, many truths. That'd be solid, that'd be spiritual, that'd be natural. Always looking for a way to keep things going. And sometimes you just got to get away from it all. You got to go and search for it, you know. A new life, a new light, new opportunities, and then transfer it on to somebody else. And then they hold on to it. Just like living in a painting. I know exactly what this line work lines up with out here. The river itself. Things are a lot easier these days, but back then it was not easy trying to map things out. So things are a little bit abstracted. They're not as clean as they are today. You know, they're not. But this river right here lines up perfectly with a very special kind of line work on the left side of something. Every line matters. Every geometry matters. And no one even knows about it. Except for the one that created it. Imagine how perfect the lady would be, the line work on that right sleeve of hers. Imagine what that would look like if that was done today. It would have changed the arm forever, the angle of it. The ruffles within the dress, on the arm. Every crease, every turn would have been changed if that was done today. But it leads you to something, and somebody else is pointing right at it. Just one of them. Welcome to the Collins Drive parking zone right here. See, it doesn't cover that much out here. come to think of it, I keep being, wanting to look up in the woods, see if I see some giant trees, some giant spreads out there. Oh, there's a park ranger. Okay, cool. Means that we're safe, I guess. People out here parking, ready to go. Gotta find that map. I want to cover every ounce of the trails that I can today before it gets dark at 4:15, whatever time that is. Cochrane Shoals. They have the same pictures every single billboard I see at every park. The same ones. Where's the family? The family picture, We have made it. Made it past the threshold that I haven't made it past before. Yeah, a long time ago, back in like 2017, whatever it was, 2016 when I came out here, it was too late. And it was, very congested out here for a summer day during summer break that time. And I only made it to the Collins Road parking lot, and I had to turn back around and get on out. But today's a different story. Man, it smells good out here. Oh man, they got bikes out here too. Looks like we're going to have to keep a lookout. We're definitely going to have to be careful. I'm going to have the headphones blasting. Wonder what's in these woods up here. Let's hope they didn't cut it all down. I'm trying to sneak my way up to this walking trail only, this hiking trail, trying to get off the bike trails, because they like to zoom through here. I mean, look at all the brake skid marks. They like to go hardcore in places like this. We've seen it before. They come around every corner about, 15 miles an hour. Not a lot of time to stop. Wonder how many times they planted themselves right in this tree right here. Let's hope they don't do that thing today. But you know what? When it rains out here on this kind of soil right here, when it starts to rain, they ain't no coming out on that bike. It's going to be like riding on ice. Trust me, I know. You guys crazy. Not a lot of old growth out here. Looks like it's a bunch of planted pine when they used to do forestry out here, logging and stuff. This is just a remainder of what they had out here left over when they gave it to the state. I can't tell if that's tornado damage or if that's pine beetle damage, Weird. I bet the ones up here are telling me to clean it up. I bet they are. Get the death out of here. Imagine how beautiful it would be out here if it was all cleaned up, I'm a big believer in that. It's almost as if there's nothing more important to them out here than life itself and the beauty of it all, They love beauty. They love being pretty. They do. They love to be pretty. Someone just said I do, right on the left-hand side. What the heck? I heard you. I know you love being pretty. I know that for a fact. At least now I do. You just have to be in a specific spot to hear them talk about it all the time. You do. Not too long ago when I was out in the woods or someplace like that, someone said the lady's face is ugly. And I was standing around a bunch of garbage. I was looking at a bunch of garbage. I can't remember if I picked it up or not. That was less than a year ago. Someone said the lady's face is ugly. The lady's face is ugly. I think I went back to pick it all up because I felt bad. But I told him before, the lady's face is not ugly. She's beautiful. They are beautiful. Its face is beautiful. Wonder what they would say right now if I unplugged the headsets and I asked that question. Would they say yay or nay? Yes or no? If I asked that question, is the lady's face ugly out here? Thought I heard something. But our duties as a human race, I guess, is to help the face not be ugly, right? One of these days when we come back, we'll just cut through the woods. You know, zigzag. Stay off the trails. But since this is my first time on this side of things, I guess I'm going to have to stick to the trails to try to make my goal of getting all the way up to Paper Mill and experience what we get to see around us and imagine the scenes in different times, you know, what the scenes would be like, what opportunities are out here to be captured when it comes to experience, you know. Like what would this place look like in the springtime? What kind of picture will we get here? At 6:09 in the late spring when everything's neon green out here with the sun coming through. What kind of scene will we get if it was filled with snow? What kind of scene will we get with a camera if it was foggy in late December? That's 7:02 in the morning. As you can already tell, it has been raining already. It's the heavy sprinkles. Gargantuan tulip tree right here.
oh, here it is. Here it is. I've always wanted to make this far, you know. I knew there was a graveyard out here. You already know what graveyard this is. This is Scribner Cemetery. I saw this on a map back in like 2014, 2015. Back when I started doing EVP sessions. I gotta be careful. Seems like the last few graveyards I made it to, just out of curiosity, whatever, I keep getting entities. Not the souls of the ones, but I keep getting somebody or something around me that says, don't wake them. That's like the last 4 in a row. I've made it to a graveyard. Even up there by Hightower Trail or something like that, up there by Emmacola Falls. I think it's Hightower or something like that. High Shoals Baptist Church. At that graveyard, when I made it up there on a mountain bike. And I was talking to him, and someone said, don't wake them. Why? I mean, it's not like I'm trying to wake them, but why do they always have to say, don't wake them? What happens if you do wake them? That's what I want to know. Maybe that's a question for later. What happens if you do wake them? I don't know about you guys, but this stuff is legit. It is. I mean, how am I going to get the same EVP, the same answer at 4 different graveyards? Looks like we're not talking at this one. We'll just be silent. I don't know about you, but I'm having a blast. Could you imagine going from one end of the spectrum to the other? Which is what we're going to be doing today. We're not even halfway there, I don't think. Maybe we are. Trying to get up to Paper Mill Park, that side of things. I've never gone from one state park to the other on foot or on bike. That's going to change today. Man, but that graveyard though, guys. I mean, I have no fear. I don't, I'm a different kind of paranormal investigator. It's just finding truth, that's all it is. But, I mean, I gotta be careful from now on. No talking. Well, I don't know about talking though, that's the thing though, because they like to answer questions, they do. I don't know if they like it, but they will answer you. I have some of the best evidence, but a lot of other humans do now these days because of the technology. You have captured the best evidence of truth out here in this land, the earth. You can use technology to prove many things, guided by science too, the science of technology. Will tell you what needs to be told. But if you fake that thing, shame on you. CGI, whatever it is. But when I was back at High Falls, High Shoals, whatever it is, up there by Emmaclova Falls, I'm not even going to call it creepy. When I did that foggy video in the middle of July up there, when I was on vacation, took the mountain bike out there for the first time. And that was that very cool, eerie scene. You talk about monumental. They were going off the chain when I went up there. Also, when somebody said when I first got there, don't wake them. You talk about heaven when you're in places like this, when your grave is in a place like this, when there's no houses around, you're nowhere near a road or freeway. You are just alone out here. But I don't know what's going on in that video. I don't have no idea what side of the soul that I have, you know. The kind of soul that I have. It's almost like my soul, or part of me, was interrogating them. I felt bad when I heard somebody, when I saw the Mason symbol. And on that one grave. And someone said, I don't have any gold. Or something like that. You'll have to go back and watch that video. Just look for the foggy one on the mountain bike. I don't even know the title of it anymore. But someone said, I don't have any gold. It's almost like I went there asking them where their gold is. Like I was trying to get payment for something. That's what has me like scared sometimes about my videos. It's almost like, I don't know. I mean, me as being, me being a human, I'm just like, I'm chill. I'm like humbling. I'm kind, I'm loving. But why am I always looking for gold? Why is my soul always looking for gold? I just want to go back to that graveyard and try to wake them up and say, look, I'm sorry if my soul was asking you if you had any gold on you. But that's another trip for the future. Maybe next summer. Just say a couple of sentences, try not to wake them. Uh-oh. Right in the middle. I guess I'm now at the midpoint of one spot to another. Dang. I don't want to have to pack the phone up. It ended just like that. That little mini downpour right there, typical of your tropical storms, typical style. Where something just blows through really quickly in a matter of half a minute or something like that. And it just drenches you. Man, as long as it's raining, right? Do we have to follow a certain direction though? I mean, I'm not one to follow the rules. Take that back. Maybe I need to put another spiritual swing on something, an idea. Today's Thursday, right? Maybe we're meant to go this way, to see something that we're meant to see today, that we wouldn't see if it was another day, Let's try to see what happens. Dang, did they ever do it right with the rain? Oh, it's a squirrel. Well, time for that community service. Add it to the pocket. thanks for that rain, though. It just added to the aroma of the fall season out here. You can smell it a lot better now. The dampness and stuff, you know? The smell that it causes when things get wet. The smell of nature itself. You don't smell it that well when it's dry. You don't. It doesn't come out that much when it's dry. Just to elevate the senses, the experience, is what it's doing. Making it unforgettable. Another unforgettable experience to add to the collection within my mind. So this day is never forgotten. Absolutely incredible how much ground you can cover when you're not out looking for the good stuff. When you're in some little creek, non-stop looking around, within a few hundred feet, and it takes like 7 hours. But in less than an hour and a half, we have covered almost 3 miles. We're almost there. I can't believe it. Oh, crap. All right. I made it. I can tell I made it, guys. I made it. I am where I am. I'm where I'm supposed to be in this point in time in my history. Anytime you go through an experience of deja vu, there's nothing better than that experience. It tells you something about life. I'm a big believer. I have it quite a bit lately in my life. It was just sporadic a long time ago. But now these days, it seems like I go through a sense of deja vu at least once a month now. I just went through a major experience of deja vu over here. Right over here. That guy on the mountain bike, he was down here on a little bridge thing right here. And I was out here taking my little heavenly pictures towards the woods and stuff. And right there, he stopped me. He said, "You got to be careful coming down here. Just around this bend, there's a giant spider that's head high, like face high." But the thing is that there's no spider here. There isn't. He said it was humongous. I said, "Is it yellow and blue?" He said, "Yeah, it's got to be like the Jorah spider." I said it had to be like the Jorah spider if it's that color. But I don't see one. He said it was right on the bend right here. Face high. I don't see him. But right when I got to this point right here, I looked up. Right in front of me. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. That feeling that you get. Like you make it past the threshold. Like you make it past a level. That's the scary thing. It makes you feel, deja vu makes you feel like you made it past some kind of level in a video game. Like you have to make it through those positions. But deja vu is like a different kind of game though. The experiences are like, almost like they're outlined. Like they're designed in the future, you know. The future of you. It's exactly what deja vu is, but it's weird. It's like, it's just like a random moment. Is what it is. Hello? Deja vu is a random moment. It's almost like your heart skips a beat. It does. It's like your heart skips a beat, and it's like the memory within you. It's like your memory. There's a part of your memory it's like you're crossing a line. It's like you're passing some kind of line in history. Like when you're in a race or something like that and you cross over the finish line and you're the first one and you break the ribbon. That's what it feels like, because you're the one in the race in your own life. That's what it seems like. A race in your life. And you're always going to be the one that crosses over that line first, as you're transferring yourself through the time and space of this planet. And right when I got around that curve, the memory just hit me. Where I remember I was on that trail and I was stopped by somebody to tell me that there was a spider. And I looked up and I was like, I experienced this before. No doubt about it. How else are you going to remember it if it didn't happen before? Dang, look at this zone. There is nothing but gold all over the place out here. Look at the gold out here.